Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. We continue investigating our map to the highest treasure. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurudmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Yasya Prasadadagyupi Sadhya Sarvagyatam Vrajetsa Shri Chaitanya Devame Bhagavan Samprasidatu. May Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, be merciful unto me. By His grace, a complete fool can get all knowledge in one moment. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Love of Krishna is the best of the best, is the highest treasure. It's natural for every living entity, but we need to revive this natural condition. So here we have not just love of Krishna, we have the highest form of love of Krishna, and also it's in the liquid form of Shri Radha Kund, very special place. Who has been to Shri Radha Kund? Okay, Subal Gopal, have you been to Radha Kund? Okay. Anybody took bath in Shri Radha Kund? Okay, right. So that's, we will discuss this when we come to this verse 8, 10, and 11. But this journey to the highest treasure begins, of course, on the site of the airlines, right? You have to buy a ticket. Ode? At the ticket office? Or where does the journey begin? In the mind. And the mind is seated in the heart. So this is our entry onto the path. We have the map of the secret path to Shri Radha Kund, and the journey begins in the heart. So sometimes we hear that you cannot come to Vrindavan just by buying a ticket. It's not, even physically, it's not so easy. Sometimes it's tricky. I remember the first time I was going to India, I couldn't reach. There was some epidemic in India, something else, no tickets, then my passport was stolen, of course through my stupidity, but I couldn't reach. We need to get special blessings by Tulsi Devi, by the Brijbasis, from Tulsi Devi, from the Brijbasis, and so forth, to come to Radha Kund. And it's not really just a place, just a geographical place. It's we can also come sometimes. Sometimes you can just come to the geographical place, and it also oftentimes it may just remain a geographical place. So we want more than just a geographical place. There are also devotees who have never been to Vrindavan at all, but they live in Vrindavan consciousness. Or like Srila Prabhupada, I think it was in New York, he said, that, do you think I am in New York? No, I am in Vrindavan. Yes, because he's in his consciousness, he's in Vrindavan. So this is the ticket, a secret ticket. You study the map, you pay the price inside, and then you look like you are in Bavaria. Okay, here it's also a holy place, but let's say, I don't know, where in Waldkirchen. Waldkirchen is close enough. Let's say Passau or somewhere. Freyung, I don't know. Freyung is probably also too close, right? A little removed. But inside you, and you are at Radhakund. Or at least in Vrindavan, or in the spiritual consciousness. So this is the map, this is the ticket. And the movement is also not only outside, but also inside. This is very important, to move inside. Braucht jemand eine Übersetzung auf Deutsch? Alle verstehen Englisch? Wir verstehen, ja? Okay. Там вы встигаєте? Все нормально? Okay. So, verse 1, we can find almost the same verse in the Mahabharata, Shanti Parva by Bhishmadev. So it begins with describing strong currents, six strong currents, which we have to tolerate, not drown. So, not identify with these currents. So let us chant this verse all together. For the exam, we need the first three verses. I mean, one of these first three. One of them will be for the exam. Many devotees know it. Also, it's just 11 verses. It's probably the shortest Shastra we have. So if you just learn these 11 verses, you can become a personified nectar of instructions. We can have here like 20 personified Upadeshamritas walking, yes. But not only in terms of knowing by heart, but also it would help also if you behaved like this. That's even better, as described here. So let us chant together. Everybody has verse 1? Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jihva vegam udaropasta vegan etan vegan yo vishaheta dhira sarvam apimam pritivim sashishyat. And those who have the English, let us read together. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So 6 urges are mentioned here, grouped into 3 categories. So these are 6 urges in 3 categories, which try to take us far away from Krishna, but we are supposed to direct them towards Krishna. We have to. It's like the secret from up front, from the very beginning. You get the secret offer. Offer your BMW to Krishna. You know what's a BMW. Vito doesn't know what's a BMW. He's a Mercedes man. He's not into BMWs. Mercedes is Stuttgart, right? And BMW is München. Yeah. Correct? No. BMW is body, mind, words. Yeah. Body, mind, words. Our body, mind, words try to take us somewhere else. And we take our BMW, and we offer our BMW to Krishna. The body says, no, let's go to the pub. You say, no, let's go to Nrisimhadev. He has a wonderful sword. It's very nice. And he can cut all the mental problems. So we take the body and we bring it to the temple. Bring the body to the temple, and in the temple we say, Shri Prahlad Nrisimhadev ki jai. So we use W, the words for Krishna. And the mind, we think such a nice red color behind. No, it's not red. How do you call it? It's not purple. It's purple. No, maroon. How do you call it? Violet? Magenta? Magenta. Okay, this is the magenta color. Yes, magenta color, beautiful. Huh? Okay, for us guys, it's just red. Yes. For guys, it's red. It's okay. You can be. Yeah. Yeah. But for the pujaris, it's good to know the subtle. Or nowadays, front-end developers. If you make websites, you also need to know the different names with the numbers too. So we think, Nrsimhadev has wonderful magenta color, and he has such a beautiful silver Brahmin thread, and he has a silver ornament on the dhoti, and he's giving his, this mudra in Sanskrit, this sign, in the Indian sign language, or in the gestures, the name of this mudra? Which? Srimati Radharani is glorified as Varabhaya Spurat Pradam. She's giving, that's Abhaya Mudra, fearlessness mudra. No fear, Mashucha, don't worry. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Don't be afraid. It's going to be good. So Nrsimhadev is saying, don't be afraid. No worries, mate. You're going to be good. So we use our mind. Body, mind, words we offer to Krishna. So 3 categories, body, mind, words are described. And the first one here is vacho, the words. Why do you think the words are named first? We speak a lot, okay. Yeah. Yes. Once in New York, Prabhupada was walking and he said, this skyscraper, how did it start? Somebody said money, somebody said design, somebody said something else. Prabhupada said, no. It started with talking. So the guy started talking. It would be interesting to build a 100-story building. They started talking, and so that's how it started. So talking is sort of like a steering wheel. Our talks will determine our direction. How we use the tongue, how we use our talking. Talking also can be subtle. What queries, what questions do you ask Google? And do you ask Google how to find the way to Simhachalam? What are the buses to Jandelsbrunn? What questions you ask? Din Prabhu, you're listening to YouTube Ananda Krishna's channel? How did it come up? You were searching for something like meaning of life, or how did it come up? What was your path to?
I think I was searching for the principles of karma.
Thank you. Yes. So you see, Din Prabhu was asking principles of karma, and then YouTube gave him Ananda Krishna, giving you the YouTube presentation on the principles of karma. And here, Din Prabhu is in front of Prahlad Nrsimhadev. See? What questions you ask? There you go. I mean, you get some. You can move to some, beer garden, or you can move to some mantra yoga place. So speech is very powerful, and by questions we can reach. I remember from my childhood, my mother was telling, if you get lost, ask questions. If you don't know where you are, ask questions. And there was a proverb, Yazik do Kyiva dovede. Your tongue can lead you to Kyiv, to this capital city. Just keep asking, Yazik do Kyiva. The tongue can lead you all the way to the capital, if you ask questions. So Prabhupada speaks about toads who quacken, yeah? Quack, quack, quack. Yes. So I don't know exactly what they... what's the English for quacken for? Croaking, okay. I don't know exactly what they are croaking about. Quack, quack, yeah. But they are oftentimes given as an example of some, like not very intelligent questions. So they talk and talk and talk, but somehow their croaking is but their croaking is not so elevated. Prabhupada says that basically they are found by the snake who eats them. Okay, any questions here? Any questions or comments? Oh, is that everyone?
You speak about the power of speech, and that whatever we speak, that it will lead to more,
yes,
and to some gross manifestation related to what we speak. Can you also speak about the I guess it's the verse basically, but can you also speak about the power of silence? Like, we have things on our mind, and we also think that I will have to speak to someone about it. But actually sometimes it may be more, and it seems like ultimately we only have to speak with Krishna, and avoid dragging the things which we are thinking about and want to speak about. We tend to speak with so many people about that, and then it seems that it comes down to a social level. It loses its gravity, it loses its substantiality, and its
becomes
importance.
Like insignificant, something very light.
Yeah.
Not serious.
So my question is, I don't know, maybe you can speak more about this phenomena.
Silence. Okay. So the importance of speech and the importance of silence. So this is a positive and negative. And in this, basically in every spiritual path, we speak about we have sort of a spiral. You know, who was it? Hegel who was speaking about dialectic. Yeah, Hegel was speaking about dialectic. So you have positive, like speech. You know, speak and enjoy, right? Then the negative, don't speak and renounce, right? But both sides can be, how to say, on the same platform. It's supposed to go to the next level. So when we, by silence, we want to meditate. Just recently we were, who was it we met who was speaking about meditation? It's so difficult. Where was it? Somebody who was not a practicing devotee. I don't remember. Somebody you met on a train or somewhere. Somebody who was saying, I meditate, but I can't meditate because my mind is so going here and there, everywhere. And no, was it in Munich in the program, right? Yeah, this Fabrizio. Yes, Fabrizio was speaking. Yes, and it reminds me of how I was distributing books many years ago, and some person took the book and he said, "Do you meditate?" I said, "Yes, we meditate every day." I said, "How do you meditate?" I said, "Well, we in the morning we do the mantra meditation." I said, "How long do you meditate?" I said, 2 hours. He said, "Oh, 2 hours. Oh, respect. You meditate for 2 hours. I find it very hard to meditate even for 10 minutes. The mind runs away." I didn't tell him my mind also runs away. I thought, okay, let him think nicely that. So just being silent is no guarantee that you will be actually silent, that the mind will be silent. It's a good practice. It's a good practice even for the material life. Saki Sevaka, a couple of days ago, she mentioned that Narahari, he was here for the Nrisimha Chaturdashi. That he's a very introverted kind person. So if somebody speaks, he listens. You know, he doesn't speak. And sometimes he's silent for half an hour. Because the other person is speaking, and he's just listening, yes? And then after that, they said, he's such an interesting conversationalist. You know, he didn't say anything. He was just listening, silent, you know, but because he's a kind-hearted man, so he's listening kindly, and people say, "Oh, he's such a nice man. He's listening. He such a good conversation we had." He didn't say anything. He had no chance to say anything. Maybe at the end he said Hare Krishna or something, all the best or something. So therefore, even in the material world, it's good to listen, keep a little silent and listen for some time. But in the spiritual life, yes, we want to have the mind clean, but our method is by being silent about the gross material things and speaking about the spiritual things connected with Krishna, directed towards Krishna by speaking Krishna Katha. So speaking Krishna Katha is silence, Prabhupada is saying. This is silence. Like in the retreats, when Shachidananda Maharaj and Burijan Prabhu have the Japa retreat, we have one day, 64 rounds day. So we have a Mauna Vrata on this day. So the Mauna Vrata is not like speak nothing, but speak nothing except Hare Krishna and things connected to the holy name. So you can speak, but so you use your speech positively. You do not feel like deprived of the chance to speak, but you use only the spiritual speech. So it elevates. Like Prabhupada is saying, if you have the cup with ink, chornila, then if you put milk, it will replace ink gradually. So if you put milk, then gradually ink will be removed. So in the same way, if you put spiritual, then the material will be gradually replaced. So it goes for all the 6 categories. Food, we have Sharira Vidajal Jodendriya Tahekal. The whole verse is quoted. It's our very important mantra, the prasadam prayers. It gives a lot of energy to the mind. Björn? Eight? Okay. Yeah, I know. Yes. Björn?
My question is like, sometimes it comes that we use Krishna Katha for our own sense gratification, that we get honor or something. Can you say something about this? Like we are so well versed and so on. These things.
Very good. So it's a slightly different topic. It's sort of the first thing is that replace material with the spiritual, and then this will be the next one that even with the spiritual or spiritualized, like prasad. We offer nice prasad to Krishna, but even it can be tasty, so we can overeat or we can become also a gourmand. What do you call them? We can try to enjoy very special, delicious food, also with the tongue, not so much spiritually as just mostly in the material way. Same with talking, same with everything. It can be. So, atyahara, overeating. Here we will have in this purport saying that, yes, we avoid certain foods. Prabhupada is saying, listen carefully, we avoid tobacco, LSD, marijuana, are you writing now? Opium, liquor, coffee, unless it's, maybe decaf is okay if it's, or some chicory, or you have some replacements. But also, so Prabhupada says, vegetables, grains, fruits, milk, and water. Is it water? However, if one accepts prasad only because of its palatable taste, and thus eats too much, he also falls prey to trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. So that's sort of the next level up. First, you just eat a lot. As Bhakti Vaibhav Maharaj was saying that if on the Sunday feast, you're coming to the Sunday feast, and at the Sunday feast, there is the smallest empty space in the stomach. Immediately, Maya invades there.
Who said this?
Bhakti Maharaj.
Bhakti by Baba Maharaj.
Or Brahma Muhurta. You know Brahma Muhurta? He's from Germany. He's the director of the North European, all the German books are printed by that BBT. So you know how he joined? And that was Rettershof, I think, or in the Schloss. He came to the feast and they fed him so much, he couldn't move. He stayed overnight. He couldn't get up, you know. They forced him to eat so much. He stayed. And, you know, already 40 years, he's still... he's not eating so much anymore. But so in the beginning, you know, doesn't have to be like super healthy food. Give nice fried pakoras, everything, just so the person forgets, you know, these crabs and meat and whatever else, you know, these unclean foods. Just let them enjoy. But after some time, you can also start thinking, you know, about controlling the tongue and finding some balance and what's healthy. And like halava is actually a festival food. If you eat halava every day, like sometimes my friend Mahabhagavat in Vrindavan, he invites me for some lunch. And then he says, "Oh, Adi Purush, you don't like what I cook. You eat so little." I said, "Mahabhagavat, I'm full to my nose." He said, No, I remember 25 years ago in that temple, you ate a huge, like such a big plate of halava. And now you're not eating. You don't like how I cook. I said, "Come on, I was a young man then." Now I would die if I eat, you know, like a bucket of halava. As But in the beginning, it's okay. Not okay. It's recommended. But after some time, if you eat every day, you know, like once in Kiev, I came for some festival, and then I had vitamins and pills and Ayurvedic pills and something like a big handful of pills. And one devotee, Devarishi, was sitting next to me, and I said, "I'm sorry, I'm eating all these pills." He said, No, Prabhu, if you didn't eat so many pills, how would we know you're a senior devotee?" So it's our cooks in the BBT in Sochi, they had some laddu or barfi. They called it goodbye liver. Proshchai pechinka. Goodbye liver, you know. You eat it, you know, several weeks, goodbye. and then you become a senior devotee. You know, so, no, I can't. I can't take this. So after some time, you already look that you don't overeat, don't just stuff yourself, don't just select something that's tasty but maybe not so healthy. So in the same way, on a more subtle level, as you speak about Krishna, you see, did I speak for my pleasure to get some honor and respect and some adulation? Oh, Kijai, Kijai. Or did I actually try to give something? Or did I try to serve Krishna and devotees? So that's the next level. You see how you become more careful.
In the purport, it is said that if Krishna is present in the mind, there is no possibility of the minds being agitated by Maya's influence. So is this like in relation to the urges, like, you know,
urges.
We have the urge to, I don't know, simplest example, to overeat and so on, or to control the tongue or any of the urges. So is it simply by remembering Krishna we can control these urges?
Yes.
I don't believe it.
How can you say this? It's in the book. You know, Krishna, you know, first time I read it, I think, so nice, I can just say Hare Krishna and that's it. All perfection attained. And it's true, you know, simple for the simple. I remember how, as a teenager, I was struggling with lust. And then, as I became a devotee, and then the four regulative principles, the mind is so free. Because it's no, 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 and you're so peaceful for like 2 years. And then, you know, the new, somehow, new forms of attacks are coming in the mind. So then it sort of acts, but then you have to understand that Krishna is not just saying Krishna, but also saying this with some understanding, with some consciousness, with some intention. How you say, as Prabhupada says, one's advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on one's attitude, yes. Depends on one's attitude. So that's why we are reading this. So first, it's enough just to take prasadam, and it seems, yeah, it works. I remember first 2 years my mind was so disturbed. I mean, first was good, then it was very disturbed. Yes. My mind was very disturbed. Okay, I can tell you, it was 1991, December. 20th. December 20th. Yes, because I remember we went on the Sankirtan after that, around that time, yeah. And my mind was running, and then it was evening, and they brought very delicious Mahaprasadam from Shishi Gandharvika Giridhari in Korsnäs, Sweden, the BBT. And I remember the mind was, and this very beautiful, I don't remember, I think Sandesh was there, yes. Like brown Sandesh with carob or something. And so this Sandesh, I remember, with some, I think, blackberries. Very delicate. So I remember I took this and I ate, and it was such an interesting effect. You know, and it was nice. The mind got peaceful just by eating prasad, Mahaprasad. And sometimes it happens, you know. Usually 99% of the time, I overeat, and I am, you know, like, no elevated ideas. But sometimes you eat and you're just inspired by prasadam. Yeah? So even in such a simple way, it acts. But of course, we are not just the body. We are, you know, at least BMW, body, mind, words. And not only that, we have the soul. We are the soul, and there are different levels. So if we, fill everything with Krishna consciousness, then with Krishna. So Krishna is not just, putting Krishna only on my tongue, but also in my mind, also in my heart, also as a soul, also with some understanding, right? So more and more and more will act. Okay, very good. So now you know everything. Offer your BMW to Krishna. And everybody has. We read in the morning the comparison with the elephant. What's the idea of this comparison? Who remembers? Yeah. Yes. So that's in some way connected to... Anybody has this experience of getting some atonement from a priest? Yeah. What was, like, say 10 Hail Marys, say the Pater Noster? Yeah, I remember I was getting something like, say 10 prayers, which is good, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you become free from the thing. Doesn't mean we shouldn't do this, but Parikshit Maharaj complains that the elephant takes bath, comes out and puts dust again onto himself. So the real prayashchita, Prabhupada says, is the awakening of our dormant Krishna consciousness. Atonement, prayashchita, purification.
Where did you read this?
This is it's the second page of the purport, first verse. It was a little funny how this verse came about. Parikshit Maharaj, in the 5th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, has just heard about the hellish planets. And there are terrifying descriptions of the 26 hellish planets. Who has read about these hellish planets. I remember when I came to Dnipro in the BBT, devotees immediately brought me the tape recorder, the book, and said, "Please dictate the translation of this, this description of the hellish planets. We want to give to our relatives." It's like, how to say, neophyte preaching, Oh, see, this is what's going to happen. If you go to museums and see old pictures, they have some amazing pictures. Like Bosch, Hieronymus Bosch, he liked to give amazing pictures of the hellish 7 sins, and then the punishments for the sins, and so forth. So Parikshita has heard about it, and then he felt compassion, so he's asking how people can be saved. So then Shukadeva Goswami says, well, they can do the purification, prayashchita, atonement, искупление. And Parikshita says, but Prabhu, so he didn't accept the answer. He said, but we see people, do the purification and then right back into the same thing, do the exact same thing. So then the next, Shukadeva Goswami told him, okay, do jnana yoga. Tapasa, brahmacharyena, shamayana cha, damayana cha. So purify, control your mind, control your senses, be tolerant, develop good qualities, and this, and this, and this, and this. So jnana yoga. And still Parikshit was, I've seen a lot of jnana yoga, we can see austere people, and we see that some, now they are austere, then maybe not so austere. So then finally he's saying, okay, kechit kevalaya bhaktya. Okay, the real method is kevala bhakti, is the pure loving service to Krishna. So that's, again, you have plus, minus, and synthesis. Thesis, and antithesis, and synthesis, which combines. You're acting, but in a renounced mood. You're acting, but you're doing this for Krishna. You're talking, but talking for Krishna. You're eating, you're cooking, but for Krishna. Developing love. Any questions? Okay. So then, Srila Prabhupada speaks about talking. So how to talk. Then BMW, body. So for body we have 3. For the mind we have 2. Vachovegam, manasa, krodavegam. We have just general mind, urges of the mind. Sometimes you can't stop thinking about something. Yeah? The mind is going on and on and on and on. You just continue. And then separately anger. Anger can, if you are angry, that's sort of the most difficult thing to control in the mind. So we have 2 things from the mind here. And then we have 3 things from the body. Jihvavegam, udara vega. Jihva is the tongue. Prabhupada says there on the straight line. The tongue, udara, the belly, and upasta, genitals, the lower region. So these 3 urges of the body are mentioned. So Prabhupada is saying, the tongue, how do we control? We just stop eating. No, we eat wonderful Krishna Prasad. We stop eating these listed here, crabs and LSD and so forth. These other things. Prabhupada says crabs, eggs, other things. It's a little difficult in Germany. They think that vegetarian includes eggs. I mean, it's better than like non-veg, but makes it difficult for us. So nice food offered to Krishna. Then how much? You know how much. I mean, everybody knows how much. Yes. We should have devotee restaurants everywhere. This is the best.
Prabhupada is even mentioning extra quantities
Yes. Chili. Also cream, sour cream, even milk, even ghee is mentioned in a commentary by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That's same as with quantity. This is what and then how much. The question is how much. So jiva is what you eat, and udara is how much you eat. I mean, the tongue is what you eat, and the belly is how much you eat. So what's the science? How much do we eat? We just heard, if there is a smallest empty space, right?
Keep body and soul together.
One third food, one third water, one third air.
I think Prabhupada says half food, quarter water, and quarter air. he's quoting Ayurveda.
Okay, so next lunch we will send somebody with some measuring device to measure how much. It can be trained, Prabhu. If you train your stomach regularly, I remember our brahmacharis, when they went for medical tests, the doctors were, really shocked to see how huge a stomach can be. They didn't know the stomach can be so big. Purnachandra Maharaj gives the signs of the belches. Belch? How do you say this? Vidrishka. How do you say this? Air coming up.
Yeah.
Burping, yeah. Aufstoßen. Rupsen, yeah. So you can notice that if you eat, then after usually you feel like half, then you get the first belch, burp. So Ayurveda says if you have very light physical work, then eat until the first burp, until the first rupsen. Then if you have middle, then until the second. And if you work very hard in the field the whole day, or running with the books the whole day, or whichever is your heavy work, then it doesn't matter. You can eat as much as you can stomach, as much as you can digest. The thing is actually how much you can digest. That's the main thing. If you can digest, then you will be healthy. That's the main basis of health. Digestion. Okay, good. So that was how much. And then genitals. We also know. And Prabhupada says, the conclusion is that one who can control these 6 items, speech, mind, anger, tongue, belly, and genitals, is to be called a Swami or Goswami. Swami means master, and Goswami means master of the go, or senses.
Is it only meant for men or also for women?
Both?
This verse. I mean, get the woman if they eat too much, problem with the genitals? I don't think so. I don't know.
I'm not sure it's exactly about the quantity, but also the kind of food that is agitated. Yeah. I do not think that just overeating itself is going to make you lusty or something. Usually, if you overeat, you just want to sleep, right?
Prabhupada said that the danger is not to overeat, but to sleep more, and then this desire will cultivate.
Yes, and also not, and for the health means not being able to digest. That's we are also going to be sick if we eat and cannot digest. Now, regarding the thoughts and regarding speech, Srila Prabhupada will quote Bhaktisiddhanta Ji here and in the next, giving 3 categories which are negative, 3 negative categories. So the easy way to remember this will be to remember, karma, vikarma, and akarma. These are the 3 things that could be something that's not so positive. So karma, we all know. However, oftentimes we use this word in a imprecise manner. Okay, so this will go also for the next verse with the 6 things that can create an obstacle. So we have karma, but actually, oftentimes when we say karma, what we mean is actually vikarma. Vikarma is something that's creating bad karma. So vikarma, yes. So that means basically sinful activity. Sinful activity, vikarma, something that's not recommended, not recommended for advancement. And in Shastra, karma actually is something that leads you to the heavenly planets. In fact, oftentimes this is what people consider spiritual life, being spiritual or religious. Basically, this is technically, pious activity. Björn? Karma?
Can we say that karma is same to religion?
It's piety, actually pious acts. Yes, it's piety. Because ideally religion should religare, should connect us to God, ideally. But, in this age, I remember I was taken to church every Sunday, but for the first time I heard something spiritual when I was 18 or something, when the priest said that you should not be greedy for the mundane accomplishments. It was my grandfather's funeral, and he said that no matter what you get in this world, you cannot take it with you. I liked it so much. Wow, true, yes. For the first time I hear, oh yeah, don't just collect things in this world. But as we were leaving the church, I heard people whispering, what is he saying? Does it mean we should not buy furniture? What is this? No meuble? No furniture for home? People didn't like it. But it was the first time I heard, even though I was taken to the church, or going to the church like every Sunday, it was the first, I'm sorry. Sometimes, I think now it's better. Priests are speaking more about something spiritual, about connecting to God. But yes, religare, religion should be about re-establishing connection to God. So pious activity, this is karma. So we can speak about, like going to a pub, and getting drunk, right? So that's vikarma. It's not karma, it's vikarma. Then karma, it's going to church, doing some nice works, planting trees, which is actually very nice. This is very nice. And it will make you more pure, and it will lead you to the higher planets. And then there is the third negative akarma, so-called akarma. This is what Krishna discusses in the Gita. Not true akarma as freedom from the material bondage, but immature akarma. It's like external or superficial or false, let's say false, okay, false renunciation. Because we know that the true akarma is when you like Arjuna, he was told by Krishna that you do your duty, fight, but remember me and do this as not out of hatred, but do this as service, as devotional service. So that's true akarma. But Arjuna was suggesting this so-called akarma. He said, no, why don't I give up my duty and just go to the forest and do nothing? Yes. So it could be okay if that's his place and level, but for Arjuna it would be false renunciation. So that's why these three. So basically for us this is like oftentimes the Mayavada, or this external path of denying Bhakti, denying Krishna, saying that there is no Krishna. Just do nothing. Try to do nothing. Anybody try to do nothing before Krishna consciousness? We try to do that. I lived in the forest, you know, and just after a few days, I started thinking about everything material. Okay, so these are three categories that could be material, that could be something that's not Krishna consciousness. Of course, the positive, what's recommended, the other side is bhakti, which is the synthesis, which is the proper enjoyment, which is the proper natural to the soul, which is the proper activity, and which is the proper freedom from work through akarma. And we use our body-mind words in Krishna consciousness, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and drinking a little bit of hot maha milk. Any last questions? Comments? Points? So we continue morning 7:45 after the Guru Puja. Yes.
In the München lecture, you say that three things before you
Gift, charity.
Before you want to say something.
Filters.
Yeah, three filters. Can you say it again? Which are the three filters? Think before you.
Yeah, anudvega karam. Yes. So it's a what are the three things to ask? It's a famous story. Some of you might have heard that somebody came to Socrates and said that, did you hear this thing about your friend Alcibiades? Did you hear this? And he said, wait, are you sure this is true? Said, oh, actually I don't know for sure. It could be just a rumor. So then he's saying, okay, is it something nice? He said, oh, no, it's not nice. It's definitely not nice. Then he says, okay, will it give some benefit? I said, I don't know how it will give benefit. Then he said, why should I listen? You don't know if it's true. It's not nice. And there is no benefit from it. Why should I listen to this? Right? It's a famous, like, three filters. If it's at least nice, or if it's at least beneficial. Yeah. So it's good for controlling the mind, the speech. Okay. It's 8 o'clock. So we continue tomorrow. Please read, review, refresh ahead, see about what are the next, can repeat the verses, study the verses. You can try to see, first, second, maybe third. You can try to see if you can find which urge can produce which problem in verse number 2. If you do not control this urge, then it can produce some problem from verse number 2. There are 6 urges, 6 from here, 6 urges, 6 poisons, and 6 healing herbs. It's a good exercise. Try to connect one to one on one. One from here to one from here to one from here. What is the cure for that? And We will continue tomorrow and then also tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Upadeshamrita, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhishta, Kripa Sindhubhya.